Hello, everybody. I hope all is well with you. I am Demetra Kaye, and again, I hope you're having a great day. Of course, I am here on the African Diaspora News channel, but normally you can find me on my channel on Facebook and YouTube, Sunday through Tuesday, 5 p.m. Central Time. And of course, you can find me here on the African Diaspora News channel, 11 a.m. Central Time, Tuesday through Thursday. So today is Tuesday. I'll be back tomorrow and on Thursday. And listen, I've already sweated through my shirt, but that's normal. Anyway, so today we're going to be talking about Democrats defending Governor Gavin Newsom of California after he was accused of being anti-Black during an interview. Now, I've seen a whole host of people talk about it, and I saw it when it happened. And from that, the time that it happened, a lot of things have unfolded. And so I'm going to go over that. It's going to be a loaded conversation. And listen, I'm going to say this right off the top for those of y'all who, not y'all, them over there, want to come in here crashing out, please don't do that. Please let me finish what I have to say before we do that, because I just know how some people are, but I love you anyway. Anyway, in the meantime, while we wait for everybody to come on here, there's a couple of things I need to tell you. You can find me in Canada. That is the AI version of me. Okay, you can find me in Canada, July 25th of this year, along with that of Brother Phil Scott and some others from the African Diaspora News channel. Yes, we have been invited to Toronto, Canada. Never been to Canada before, but I am looking forward to it. But listen, we need y'all to show up and show out and get these tickets. It's gonna be a blast. We're gonna have a narrative power summit. We're gonna talk about media literacy, community voice, real change. You're really gonna be able to have a conversation with us, and of course, we have different, prices there. You do what you need to do with that. But if you are in the Toronto area, or you live next to it, whether it's New York, Detroit, I guess you can just go over the border, get the tickets, come out and have a great time with us. We cannot wait to see you there. So again, that is this summer. So, don't make any plans for July 25th. The plans that you need to make is to spend that day with us, please, and thank you. So you can take a screenshot of it to get the information. Get your tickets at africandiasporanews.org/Canada. Again, take a screenshot. I got to move on, but I'll be talking a little bit more about it, and so will Brother Phil. Also, before the summer, we are going to be in Columbus, Ohio.
Unity, reunion, parade, cookout, line dance party, backyard, barbecue, fish fry, vegan soul, Black business, food truck, networking, outdoor, concert, music, festival, celebration of the year.
It is an amazing experience. You have people from all over the country.
This is my second year attending, and they over-delivered.
So if you haven't come before, you need to come. And you know what? I'm just out here vibing.
Get tickets now at OhioBlackExpo.com.
All right. So again, OhioBlackExpo.com to get your tickets. They have sales all the way going up to the very date. Sometimes they have a buy one, get one type of thing. So just, go onto the website and please purchase those tickets. Again, we'll be there May 23rd to have another wonderful conversation. Of course, we were there last year and it was awesome and amazing. And we are so blessed that they wanted us to come back because people came from near and far. I mean, we were really kind of just taken aback by it because we're like, word, y'all came from that far to see us. We met Chicago Flips Red, just a whole host of beautiful people. So again, we look forward to seeing you there at the Ohio Black Expo. Okay. One more thing. I feel like, I do have a background in sales, but one more thing, and I'm going to get into it. Of course, you know that we have an app here, African Diaspora News Channel app that you can get at your Google or Apple Play Store right from your phone. We need you to do that for a few things, because one is Black owned 100%, and it is from us to you. It is the Black news you can use. Now, I know you might be, and listen, BET, we don't own that no more, right? So y'all know who own BET, and y'all see the stuff that they have on BET is not conducive for Black thought nowhere in the world. But African Diaspora News Channel, we talk about the news all over the diaspora. Right now, I focus primarily on Black America. Sometimes I, put my foot into the water, other things. But what I'm saying to you is that we need you to get that app, our app, because we own that. We don't own these platforms that you see us on here. They allow us to use it. And God forbid they wanted to turn off the lights, they can do that. And then you have to ask yourself, where will we find the African Diaspora News Channel? Well, you can find us on our app. Again, go to your Google and Apple Play Store to get those things, because as I always say, and I just want to, guilt you a little bit, if you have a Netflix, Hulu, Spotify, and any of those other people's apps, and you don't have our app on your phone where you could press and get all the information, I don't know what's wrong with you. So anyway, let's get into it for the sake of time. Okay. So there was this video going around of Governor Gavin Newsom of California. Okay. Now he was in Atlanta having a conversation with Mayor Andre Dickens about Gavin's new book called Young Man in a Hurry. So he's on this book tour type of thing, right? So lo and behold, this video went viral. Okay. And there was a lot of backlash about something that he said. And I'm going to get into that in just a second. But I'm going to show you some of the things that I saw. That was a lot of backlash, just some of the things, right? So here was Nina Turner. She didn't really say black, right? So the allegation is that Gavin Newsom is racist, okay? Because of something he said. And I'm going to show it to you in just a second. But she says Governor Gavin Newsom went to Atlanta and told a crowd that he is just like them. He had a 960 SAT score, that he can't read speeches. How insulting. Working class people believe politicians are out of touch because they don't worry about the cost of rent or medical bills. So she wasn't saying that he was being anti-black or racist. She was just saying he was out of touch. Okay. Then here, the Art of Dialogue, they posted something from somebody named Dom that says, breaking: Gavin Newsom is under backlash from the Black community after telling a room full of Black Americans, I am like you all. I am a 960 SAT guy and I can't read. Okay. Now down here is Terrence K. Williams. Y'all probably heard of him. He really loves Trump. Okay. For a lack of better words, let me tell you how much Terrence really loves Trump. He likes Trump a lot. Okay. So he says, Gavin Newsom to an all-Black crowd. This is what he says. That's why I'm here. I'm like you. And let me actually remove this banner so we can see the rest of it for just a second. I'm just like you. I am a 960 SAT guy. I can't read. Okay, so let me find. There we go. My thing. All right. So that's some of the allegations. Let me just take that down. I'm going to show y'all something else. Now, this video of people being outraged actually comes from two juggernauts in the Black community. Here we go.
Better than you. I'm a 960 SAT guy.
I'm no better than you. I got low SAT scores just like you. I can't read just like you. That phrase, I'm no better than you. There's so many ways to unpack that, Doc, but I digress. The mic is yours.
I thought he was going in a humanistic direction. I thought he was going to say, I'm just like you. I was born of a woman. I'm just like you. I'm going to die just like you. I'm just like you. I got to deal with the death of loved ones. But no, he didn't go in that humanistic direction. When he thinks of Black people, he thinks of lower SAT. Now, see, we see that in the Trump administration, too.
Yep.
That's what DEI and the vicious attack on DEI was. It's this low SAT. That's one of the core pillars of white supremacy. We are less beautiful, we're less moral, and we're less intelligent. Don't play with us like that.
Okay, so again, that was Brother Tavis Smiley and Dr. Cornel West. They were having a conversation about the video I'm about to show you that was going viral. Now, this particular video I'm about to show you comes from a brother by the name of Isaiah Martin. And he is, from what I saw, never seen him before, but I've seen this video trending around Democrat Shield. Okay, he really loves the Democrats and all of that. I saw that on one of his videos, he went to see Kamala somewhere and he took a selfie of himself, with Kamala and all of that. So here's his take on the video. So you're going to see the video and some other stuff. So pay close attention.
Republicans are out with their newest bit of fake outrage, this time over Gavin Newsom. Spoiler alert, they're lying. Let's look at what Gavin said.
I'm like you. I'm no better than you. I'm a 960 SAT guy. And I'm not trying to offend anyone, trying to act all there if you got nines. a 960 SAT guy.
Now, did you hear the word black anywhere in there? I didn't hear the word black. Now let's look at the crowd. Looks like a lot of non-black faces in the crowd to me. What about the line to get in there? Seems pretty diverse, if you ask me. So he didn't say that to a black crowd. It's almost like he brought that up because he was talking about average SAT scores in America, which is exactly what he did when he was talking to
960 SAT. I asked you about your SAT. You said
It's almost like they made up a fake, race-baiting controversy out of thin air, which is pretty typical for these race hustlers. It's because they're too low IQ to talk about the economy they broke, and they need a distraction.
Okay. So again, that was Isaiah Martin. He was breaking it down, basically saying, pointing out that it wasn't an all black crowd. In fact, I saw a whole bunch of pictures. I'm going to show you some other stuff as well, of the crowd looking like it was predominantly white. Now, again, they're in Atlanta because that was Mayor Andre Dickens, who is the mayor of Atlanta. And he, for whatever reason, was hosting the symposium or whatever it was with Governor Gavin Newsom about his book. Again, Young Man in a Hurry. It just came out this month. And so he's touring all over the place. And that's one of the places that he stopped. Now, I want to show you the question that he was actually asked by that of Mayor Andre Dickens. I always want to mess his name up. So here is the actual question. It's not really that long.
In a room with your mom, hug them tight. But what would you like for us to take away from that? What would you like for the reader to know more intimately about you and how those two separate lives that you had together and the tough decisions you made and the risks that you had to take, and even growing up with dyslexia and all that? Like, what do you want us to take from that and where you are today?
that like so many folks, I put a mask on, and my face was starting to grow into it. I was trying to be someone I was not. It wasn't that I was inauthentic. It just I wasn't who I am. Sweaty hands, nervous, just trying to put on a facade. And my mom saw that. She saw those cracks in that mask, and she challenged me. And so it's a story about resilience, redemption. It's a story about humility and grace. I don't want to dream of regretting anymore. No coulda, woulda, shoulda. It's all out there. I just want to put it all out there. I'm not trying to impress you. I'm just trying to impress upon you. I'm like you. I'm no better than you. I'm a 960 SAT guy. And I'm not trying to offend anyone. Trying to act all there if you got 940. You've never seen me read a speech because I cannot read a speech. Maybe the wrong business to be in. My dyslexia, I haven't overcome dyslexia. I'm living with it.
Okay. So again, that was the longer version of the question. So he was basically talking about his mom, and that he learned that he was dyslexic. Make sure I say that right. Which is disorder, disorder. I don't know, where sometimes you read things backwards or the words don't really line up for you, right? So you have a hard time reading and understanding what it is you're reading because what I've understood, people who have it, they say it looks like the words are kind of jumping around and all of that. So he says that he can't read speeches and all that other stuff. So again, that was the longer version of it. Did not mention anything about Black people at all. But again, that went forward. Now, bear with me because I don't want anybody, to start jumping up and down. Let me just, finish what I'm saying. Okay. So, Mayor Andre Dickens, I should say, this is what he actually posted on his Instagram. Let me just hide that. So he basically says, take it from someone who was actually in the chair asking the questions. Context matters more than a headline. The conversation around his new book included him speaking about his own academic struggles, including not doing well on SATs. That wasn't an attack on anyone. It was a moment of vulnerability about his own journey. We've gotten too used to loud-chested pounding politics that when someone speaks about shortcomings, people try to twist it into something else. Let me be clear, though. This is Atlanta. We don't need anyone telling us who or what to be offended. I know it's kind of blocked there. It says, and history has shown us when we are. You'll know. If you want the full context, watch the full clip, read the book, and engage in the complete conversation. So that was Andre basically saying, I was there. That's not what happened. And as you see, he posted a picture of who the audience member was. So to a lot of people's I guess accusation, even that of Tavis Smiley and Dr. Cornel West, there was Black folks there in the audience. It was some, but not all, right? Like some people said. So bear with me here. Let me just take that down. Okay, now let's get into Gavin Newsom. This is what he said to Sean Hannity because he was not having it. He was upset. Okay. So he says, and he responded to Sean Hannity. Sean Hannity was Fox News, right? A big time MAGA. He really loves Trump as well. Says Gavin Newsom thinks a 960 sat makes him like Black Americans. Let that sink in. Okay, again, I just showed you the audience. Now, Gavin says you don't give a about the president of the United States of America posting an 8 video of President Obama or calling African nation Cole's company S-holes, I was trying to say, but you're going to call me a racist for talking about my lifelong struggle with dyslexia? Spare me your outrage, Sean. So that's what he said. And of course, he's kind of been responding to different people. So that was Gavin Newsom basically saying, I that's not what that was about. I am not racist. Okay. Now we're going to get to the good part. Okay. We're going to get to the good part. So there's many, but one of the ones that I saw that defended that of Gavin Newsom is Bakari Sellers. Now he's, I believe, an attorney, an activist, and I think he's on the Native Land podcast with Angela Ryan them. So he basically says Dems must stop doing, and I should have bleeped that out. So sorry, dumb-ish. I have my issues with Gavin Newsom, but he is the furthest thing from a racist. His story about overcoming dyslexia is powerful and endearing. One I wish he learn lean more into. Maybe I have it right. So his remarks show a blindness and were inartful, but leave it there. Donald Trump is a racist. Gavin is not. Okay. That's where we got to go a little bit deeper. He says that Trump is a racist, which he probably is, but Gavin is not a racist. This is where I take a turn. I don't know if it's going to be for the worse or for the better. Okay, now y'all remember not too long ago, they're in sunny California, depending on which part of California you live. There was this conversation about reparations. They had a whole committee, a study, and a whole host of things, right? And they were talking about getting reparations for Black Californian descendants of slavery. Okay, and the tune was going to be to about 1.2 million if it was approved with this committee and things like that. And it sounds like what they came up with. Well, right out the gate, Gavin Newsom got a little bit of pushback because he was like, well, that don't mean cash payments, right? And this is what he said when he was asked the question. And this is in 2023, mind you.
From Cal Matters. I wanted to ask you about the Reparations Task Force meeting today to present its final recommendations and some comments you've made, about reparations potentially meaning more than checks, and whether that means that California should pursue reparations that is not checks. Do you think California should pursue a non-financial form of reparations out of this process?
I appreciate the question and look forward. I think the report formally being sent to the legislature today. I haven't had a chance to read it. Look forward to reading it. I've been pretty consistent in my public comments that that's what I intend to do. Take this very seriously, and I take the responsibility to answer and to be accountable to what's going on as it relates to race and race relations in the state and the nation. I am very mindful of our past. You may recall just a few months ago, I took a few days spring break with my kids. I went to the South. Was there getting more educated on history of Jim Crow and the history of the second slavery in this country as it relates to convict leasing, which is not well known and understood in this nation. It only reinforced my anxiety and concern about the world we're living in and the disparities that persist in this country. And to be candid with you, also reinforces my concern about the decision, unsurprising nonetheless, of the U.S. Supreme Court today as it relates to ending affirmative action, which in the state of California will not have a disproportionate impact since that's been established under Prop 209 in 1996, the UC system formerly in 1995, even predating Prop 209. But the impact that had on Black and brown communities was profound. For those that are wondering what's going to happen in their states, they don't only have to look to California to know exactly what's going to happen. You're going to see a significant decline in African American and Latino admissions in institutions of higher learning. We had roughly a 50% decline, just shy of 50% decline within the first 3 years of Prop 209 at UC Berkeley, UCLA. Just last year, just to underscore the nature of the world we're living in, only about 228 African American students were admitted at Berkeley, 7,000 admissions, just 228. I'm very concerned about this. I think you should be as well. And I'm frankly unsurprised because we have a Supreme Court that wants to bring us back to a pre-1960s world. We're experiencing this rights regression on civil rights, on voting rights, on LGBTQ rights, on women's access to contraception, not just access to reproductive care. It's a very serious moment in our nation's history. And you're seeing this rights roll back in real time, this regression in real time, and I hope folks wake up to it. And so this Reparations Task Force, the report, in the context of that decision today, only reinforced the seriousness, purpose to which we will review it, and we'll make a determination, and I'll make subsequent statements after I have a chance to read it.
Okay, so y'all heard all the things that he talked about, right? He says, I took my children, and you know, my family, we went to the South and we visited this and that, the museums, and we learned about Jim Crow, convict leasing, and all the things that justify American descendants of slavery getting a check. He did all of that. Now, mind you, that was in 2023, right? And they, you know, I'll get into that. But so he went and educated himself and all that stuff. Now, you also notice when he was asked the question, well, hey, basically, do you support cash payment reparations? He got to talking about what? He said the black and the brown. He was talking about LGBTQ. He was talking about reproductive rights. And it's like, man, answer the doggone question. He's talked about everything but answering the question. He did a lot of tap dancing. Then, of course, he talked about, you know, only 228 African-American students were admitted into Berkeley. And I should say proudly that my nephew was one of them. I'm just throwing that out there. It is very hard to get into, right? And so he said all of that and did this.
He's upset, and rightfully so. But not only the communities of California, but all across the nation. They were counting on California to get this right.
On the final night of the legislative session, the California Legislative Black Caucus decided to block Bradford's bills from a final vote at the state capitol, claiming they did not have the votes. The move infuriated reparations supporters who said the caucus was afraid of the governor's veto. Last month, Newsom's office suggested Bradford change the state agency bill into a $6 million study by the University of California. Bradford refused.
I didn't talk directly to anyone about those two bills.
Governor Gavin Newsom last week would not say exactly what happened with the specific proposals, but he criticized the reaction from reparations supporters and their treatment of the leader of the Black Caucus, Assemblymember Lori Wilson, who was doxxed online.
She did not deserve to be attacked like she was attacked. Members of the Black Caucus did not deserve to be attacked and their integrity impugned. That was disgraceful.
Our ancestors have to be greatly disappointed in the fact that we've been waiting 160 plus years for reparations, and it was right here in our hands, and we dropped the ball.
Okay, so that is, he was at the time Senator Stephen Bradford. He termed out. But of course, there you saw that they didn't even take the bills to the floor, right? Now, you also saw Governor Gavin Newsom admonishing Black folks for being mad. How dare you? They didn't, the California Legislative Black Caucus, they didn't deserve that. You know, and then Lori Wilson, she was the chairwoman at the time. I guess she was doxxed because people was mad. It was a whole lot of Black folks there in the lobby waiting and cheering, hoping, you know, that the California Legislative Black Caucus was going to take those bills to the floor. And then they learned that this was going on up in there.
This is Assemblyman Mr. Bryan. He's mad I brought up the reparations vote. So he's preventing me from speaking, and he's trying to block my access here. Why are you so upset?
You vote for 3 strikes, you put Black folks in prisons, but now you want to be a reparations person. But you won't vote for the bill. I supported the bill all session.
Then bring the bill.
Will you vote for the bill, Mr.
Bring the bill.
Will you vote for the bill?
Bring it up.
Will you vote for reparations?
Bring it up.
I would love it.
Bring it up.
Let's vote for reparations
Bring
together.
It up. Bring it up.
You in, Bill?
Bring it up.
I didn't think so.
Bring it up. I'll vote for it. Bring it up. I'll vote for it.
Again. Okay, I'm gonna always show that one. Oh, yes, I am. That was Assemblyman Isaac Bryan, who is up for re-election, who is being challenged in the 55th district there in California by Billion Godson, who is boots on the ground. I'm going to spend more time talking about and to Brother Billion, but that was Isaac Bryan along with the California Legislative Black Caucus that did not even take the bills to the floor. They didn't even bother because what they did was they were blocking for Big Daddy Gavin Newsom. They didn't want him to be bothered. Right now, of course, you heard Gavin Newsom say, well, I haven't had a chance to look at it. Sure you didn't. Because you know that the outcome of that commission was, yeah, they should get about $1.2 million. They being Black California descendants of slavery. So he says he didn't even read it or whatever it was. I'm like, I seriously doubt that. But again, that was Isaac Bryant. He had his arms folded and he was caught by Assemblyman Bill Esseley at the time. He was Assemblyman for California, he works for the Trump administration now. But he actually went out to the lobby because he saw all the ebullient Black people out there. He said, hey, what's going on? And they told him. And then he went in there and caught that footage that I'm going to use until I can't use it no more. And I know he probably doesn't like it, but that's too bad. So sad. Okay. So he was blocking for Black people. Him and the California Legislative Black Caucus were blocking what would have helped Black folks there in California, even though Gavin Newsom said he went to the South with his family and his little bitty babies, and they learned about Jim Crow and convict leasing and the horrible things that went on with Black folks, and he still did not do anything to right the wrong. Okay? Now, I want to show you the bills that, were vetoed and the ones that they actually did sign. These are reparations bills, right? Okay. So this one on this side, or maybe that side for y'all, but it says on August 31st, 2024, the final day of legislative session, 2 major California reparations bills stalled because they weren't even put up to be voted on or are passed or vetoed, right? So it says they stalled in the legislature and did not reach Gavin Newsom's desk. Senate Bill 1403, creating the Californian American Freedmen Affairs Agency, didn't never make it to the desk. And Senate Bill 1331, establishing a reparations fund for descendants of enslaved people. Now, this is the one that we got. When I say we, because I'm a Californian, right? Says in October of 2025, California Governor Gavin Newsom signed key reparations legislation, most notably SB 518, which establishes the Bureau for Descendants of American Slavery to manage future reparation programs. No money, okay? Now, he also signed SB 437, authorizing $6 million for the state university system to research descendant verification methods and formally apologize for the state's role in slavery via AB 3089. So we got an apology. And that's, you sign that bill. It's an apology. And, they're going to try to figure out who actually deserves the money. And trust me, they already know. Okay. So those were what was not even voted on at all and what was passed. Some bullcaca, if you ask me. Okay. So the question is, was Gavin Newsom being anti-Black in that video of him talking to Mayor Andre Dickens? Hopefully I've illustrated, no, he was not being anti-Black in that moment. And I think it's important that we highlight that, because when we focus on that, to me, is a nothing burger. He was talking about being dyslexic and all of that, and he had relatability. He also said the same thing to Charlie Kirk, who is gone somewhere. I don't know if he's gone up to glory, but he's gone somewhere, who was considered to be very anti-Black. He said the same thing to him about the 960 SAT scores. Now, the stuff that I talked about after that, the reparations bill, now, yes, that is anti-Black, especially you sat up there and admitted that you went and educated yourself about the horrors, some of the horrors of slavery here in America, and you still, I believe, colluded with the California Legislative Black Caucus to say, we ain't gonna do nothing. You knew all of that and decided to not do anything. You know what they're saying? Oh, it's too expensive. It's going to cost too much money. Oh, well, the state, it has a shortfall. We don't know when we get it. It costs billions. But do you know that California was wanting to spend $2.6 billion to get, this is their words, undocumented people here, or in California rather, healthcare. No matter what your status is or how undocumented you are, they were going to spend $2.6 billion a year, not once, but a year, to make sure that they have health care, dental care, vision care, whatever it is, right? But talking about we don't know where we're going to get the money for Black Californian descendants of slavery who are indeed citizens. But they did not pass that $2.6 billion healthcare thing for undocumented people because I believe all of the backlash, because they kind of stepped in it. You can't tell Black Californians we don't have the money, but then, oh yeah, we gonna find the money to get undocumented people some health care. And yes, the California Legislative Black Caucus was on board for that too, right? So reason why I wanted to highlight the difference of what's anti-Black and what's not is because we as Black Americans, wherever you are, because the truth of the matter is this: a lot of people are staunchly defending Gavin Newsom, and I get it, right, in that moment, because they see him as being the next president of the United States. And I've said this, I think that Gavin Newsom will be on the ticket for the Democrats in 2028. So we can't get focused on things that aren't true and ignore the things that are true about Gavin Newsom. And what is true is that, yes, he has engaged in very anti-Black behavior as the governor of California. And so what's going to happen is, unfortunately, when this kind of stuff about him being anti-Black or Black crowd, and it wasn't a Black crowd, that stuff gets more conversation. It invalidates, not that it should be invalidated, but it invalidates him actually being anti-Black. So we have to spend more time spreading the word and what he actually did, because we also know this, and this is where I get a little bit passionate, that Black voters vote for who the most? We vote for the Democratic Party the most, more than white folks, more than Asians, more than Latinos, any other group of people here in the United States. We vote for the Democrats the most. Now, knowing what I just told you about Gavin Newsom and what I always say about Gavin Newsom and what they did to Black folks, how is it that we would go, because we're going to do it. We might not do it as much as we have in the past, but we are going to go and vote for him more than anybody else. I don't know who's going to be on the ticket on the other side or whatever it is, but the good news is we got, I don't know, about 3 years, give or take, before the election of 2022 at this point actually happens. So we as Black voters have to be getting on the same page and know what it is that we are asking for and what we want. We want reparations, okay? We don't want no funky apology. We don't want no other studies. As far as I'm concerned, they could take HR 40 and they could do some things with it I will not say on here. We don't want that. We don't want the studies nowhere. You don't need to try to get us no education, because if we want to get education, we could pay for it with the reparations check that we get. And, you know, and in California, talking about when we're going to try to see if we can get the land that was stolen, you know, back from, y'all ain't interested in that. They did like 1 or 2 times. And other than that, they're not interested in getting the land that was stolen from us. But we got to get very clear. We got to get clear like yesterday what we're asking for, and that we are not going to budge, because as I've said, with what's in it for Black Americans for us to do that, right? Because ain't no sense of crying about people being racist, this, anti-Black, and this, that, and the other. And I'm not, maybe not y'all, okay, maybe not me, but if we collectively are Black Americans that are continue to show up to get more of nothing, more of anti-Blackness, y'all seeing it right now, live and in living color. You got the Congressional Black Caucus. They are running around and chasing behind ICE, you know, and they're fighting for illegal immigrants. And they don't say, it's Black History Month now, right? So they say a little bit of things about Black Americans, but they won't say it without saying Black and brown. We can't have nothing to ourselves. That's the Congressional Black Caucus that's doing that. They are actively in our very Black faces, running around, championing and fighting for illegal immigrants who should not be here. I'm talking about illegal immigrants. And they're going to show up and ask for our votes. And when they do, we need to say, what's in it for Black Americans for me to do that? because we've been voting for you decade in, decade out, not getting a doggone thing specifically for us. And when we vote for you, we see you do for everybody else but us. So what's in it for me to show up and vote for you? And if they get the hemming and hawing and stuttering like Gavin Newsom was in that video, they say, you know what? Then you can't have my vote. You let me know when I can show up to the polls and vote for you when you actually have something. And it's not that they don't or they can't do it. It's that they won't do it. They don't want to get us reparations. They don't want to get us a specific hate crime bill or any of the stuff we've been asking for. But look at all the billions of dollars that they spend on illegal immigration, and we can't get none of it. That costs money for them to do that. We can't get none of these, congressional black caucuses to crash out for us, catch a charge for us. Like LaMonica McIvers there in New Jersey, she's looking at 17 years because she allegedly assaulted an officer on the scene when they were trying to bust up into the facility. We can't get Maxine Waters chasing behind a reparations check for her own people because when she went in there in 1991, she was talking about that a little bit, but we ain't heard Auntie Maxine say nothing about reparations since. She's been busying herself, and yes, she's 85, 86, 87. She is running again. And yet, I haven't heard her say anything about Black Americans in the, I don't know, recently, other than Black and Brown, when she was saying, I'm chasing behind ICE. I'm in back alleys, and this is the biggest coalition of Black and Brown unity. How is this the biggest coalition of Black and Brown unity? Why? Because, the legal immigration stuff is going on the ICE raids. Well, that ain't got nothing to do with us. It has we don't have the power to stop no ICE raids, and we don't have the power to start ICE raids. But somehow, that's the biggest coalition of Black and Brown unity. But again, they only talk about Black and Brown unity when they want the Black to help the Brown, but never the Brown to help the Black. I dare you to find an instance where they say, hey, Brown community, hey, hola, how you doing? I dare you to find an instance where they say, we need y'all to get over here, get your brown selves over here and help Black folks. Find me a video, an article, anything, and I won't say nothing else. Find me that article of our misleaders doing anything like that. So we best to be getting very clear about what it is we need and how we need to get there. But focusing on stuff that may or may not be, I don't know. I can't tell you what to do. But like I said, I think it's more important to focus that Gavin Newsom will probably be on that ticket. And when he is, are we going to vote him in the office, even though we know that he thumbed his nose at us? Or are we going to say, you didn't do anything specifically for us? Why should we do it for you? So anyway, let me see what y'all got to say. Thank you for bearing with me. Going all the way to the top. I don't think I acknowledged anybody today, but Sister Shirley, how you doing? Hope you're doing well. African Native, what's going on with you? Let's see. Naima, what's up? I hope you're doing well. Brother Kellen in the building. We got a celebrity. Y'all know Kellen is a celebrity. How you doing this afternoon? Mike, nice. How are you? Always love to see you. Ape-ish clothing. How are you doing, Sister Sunlight? How was Ramadan? Are you practicing Ramadan? I forgot to ask. I think you are, but how's Ramadan going? For those of y'all that know, I am observing Ramadan. Can you believe it? Yeah, I cannot complain. It's actually pretty cool. Anyway, Sister Shirley says, someone please do me a favor and tell me who isn't anti-Black, particularly in the U.S. Yeah, and do you know that you can be Black and be anti-Black? What the California Legislative Black Caucus did is very anti-Black, and all of them are Black now. Are they Black Americans? A lot of them aren't Black Americans. A lot of them are from other places or whatever, just like the Congressional Black Caucus. Many of them are from, Jamaica, Haiti, or whatever it is. But yeah, you could be anti-Black and still be Black. Just like I always say, white supremacy hates white people too. Think about that, right? So yeah, Simply Sandra, what's going on with you? Hope you're doing well. The Unseen Art, hope you're doing well, says that will not change a thing. The damage is already done. I don't know. Gavin Newsom has a lot of people going hard in the paint for him, so maybe not, right? Okay. I lost my place. No, I didn't. Here we go. Kevin, how you doing? Hope you're doing well. And Kelly says, you sweat. I always sweat through my shirt. I worked out too. So and he says, you sweat through your shirt. You need to go to Saks like fake Apostle David Taylor and have the The audience pay for it. Listen, I will sweat through a burlap sack. Okay, I'm just a sweater. You know what? I'm not ashamed of it. I sweat, and I guess sweating is good for you. But I did work out today as well, so I don't know. So I don't spend a lot of money on my shirts. I really don't. Richard, how you doing? Well, you know what? Thank you for being here. I appreciate you. Renz, how you doing? And Xmartis, how you doing? Says anyone that defends Gavin are complete fools. Laugh out loud, ban me. Dude is a complete tool. Well, you know, people are allowed to do what they want to do. I just like to bring the information. They can defend him. I think in that moment it was apropos that they did defend him, but allowing them to defend him for something like that, it does shadow ban his real anti-blackness. It really does. Because yes, Gavin Newsom is very anti-black. Was he in that moment? Doesn't seem like he was. I'm just telling you what I saw. Who knows? Sister Sunlight says, I knew it was that. And Clem James, what's going on with you? He says, considering the way black votes and the fact that too many are still in California, he says too many are still in California. Maybe he is correct about the level of stupid. Well, it's not that many black folks in California. You know, a lot of black folks have to move out. There's more blacks in the South than there is anywhere else in the United States now. It's like we reverted back to where we were after slavery, during slavery in the South. But that's due to people not being able to stay there. It's very expensive to live in California. You know, most people got a couple of hustles or you have a great job, you know, or something like that. But there's not a lot of black people in California. I think like less than 6% of the population is black in California. Oof. Mike says, talk about a backhanded compliment Tuesday. Extreme X, how you doing? Says those liberal Democrat black women are even more dangerous. Well, you gonna have to come on and put the black man in there too. The liberal black man always votes right behind the black woman. In fact, the liberal black man votes second to the black woman. And we keep it a buck. There in California with Proposition 50, the black man or the black liberal voter, male voter rather, he voted 90% for Proposition 50, which basically says that California could take redistrict the maps and take 5 seats from Republicans. So the black male voter voted more than the black woman voter in California. That was recently. I'm just saying. So I know that the 92% of black women that voted for Kamala, they always get that little pat on the head. You go, girl. You did a great job, the backbone of the Democratic Party. But if the black man is second in voting for the Democratic Party to the black woman, what bone is that black man? She's the backbone. What is the black male voter that votes second the most for the Democrat Party? I'm just asking, and I just thought of that. Sunlight said they don't care about us. You said paid for audience reaction. So you said paid for with Gavin Newsom. Is that what you're saying? MC the C, how you doing? Says my radio station KGLH. I always say KGLH. It was KJLH. In LA went crazy about this Democrats or something else. Well, yeah. KJLH is very old school radio station in Los Angeles, and they still are all black owned from what I saw. Black radio host. The other ones not so much, right? Hip hop radio and things like that in LA. But they have an older audience, so that jives that they would be democratically leaning. You know what I mean? So yeah, Harold, how you doing? He says Gavin Newsom is a mediocre white man. Look at California. Well, you know, I agree with that, but we'll see when it comes to the 2028 election how mediocre he's going to be, because y'all know that Gavin Newsom was kind of one of the first Democrats to challenge Trump in the things that he's doing. A lot of foolishness, right? And a lot of people saw or see Gavin Newsom as, oh, he's the anti-bully, right? I'm pushing back against the bully. I'm meeting Trump toe to toe. And so a lot of people like him. In fact, he polls at the top for if the election was today, or, you know, as far as the Democrat ticket, that he would be on it. So unless something dramatically changes in the next couple of years up until there, I really believe that Gavin Newsom will be that. They're looking at him as the savior. Trump can't run again, but whoever would come behind Trump or that Trump would endorse would probably embody the same idea. So I don't think a lot of people will see him as mediocre just kind of putting two and two together. Let's see. Sunlight, I'm just reading your comments. Eileen, what's going on with you? Says he's so full of it. Just skipping down just a little bit. Simply Sandra says this mayor is capping for him. It figures. Well, I just showed y'all the evidence of what actually was said in the audience. So I don't know if he's capping for him, caping rather for him. So let's see. Japanese chick, how you doing? Says I don't trust Gavin Newsom or other people. It's fair. Albie Chill, what's going on with you? Hope you're doing well, and I hope to see you in Columbus, Ohio. I know you live in Ohio, but I hope to see you there. Let's see. Ranji says black sellouts, another Democrat shield caping for Massa Newsom. Again, I know these comments are a little bit belabored, so hopefully they are catching up to where I actually went with that. Email me what's going on. He says he tap dances like Sammy Davis Jr. around that question. So you're talking about Gavin Newsom. King Noble, what's going on? Says he lying and the truth ain't in him. Sheila, how you doing? Says when it snows in Hawaii, I don't know if that'll ever happen. It'll be ashes, right? Like volcanoes. Extreme Action says, oh, Demetra, you're gonna make black people angry talking Massa Gavin. Said just like the people about Biden and his horrible record towards black people. Well, hopefully you guys saw the whole thing. Sherry, how you doing? Says, why do they always have to say black and brown? Why couldn't it just be black? Damn, we have to share everything, but we didn't share those whoopings with them and those hanging by the rope type thing. Yeah, I totally agree with you. They have to say that. That we can never have anything on our own. Never, ever, 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 ever. But you know what? We vote for them to do that to us. We have to stop that, right? AJ, John called Philly. What's going on? He says, I'm still waiting on one black MAGA Trump supporter to mention reparations to the Trump administration. Not going to happen. None of them are interested in reparations for black Americans. None of them are, whether you're Democrat, whether you're Republican. But see, listen, the thing is, we know that the Republicans aren't. They don't make that a secret. It's the Democrats that say, we got to study for you. Oh, we got this. It's them that do that. See, I would be all right if they just flat out said, no. Right? Like Kamala, I'm not going to do something that just benefits black people now. Just do that. And then we know where you stand. But, well, you know, we got to study. We got to HR footy. We got this person. And then we got, you know, it seemed like everybody was talking about the HR 40 is gone to glory or somewhere. Right? So not the Republicans now, they don't cut for reparations, but at least they're honest. Let's see, skipping down. Sheila, what's going on? Okay, so you're speaking to Sherry, and Naima, you say Gavin is disgraceful. I agree with that. King Noble says Gavin defending his new Sambo peasants against the Massa, nothing new. Yeah, you see that he was, how dare you get mad at the California Legislative Black Caucus for, you know, sabotaging reparations that could have changed your lives indefinitely. My bad. David, how you doing? Says CBC is a joke. Yep. Bakari, what's going on with you? Another fellow Californian. How you doing today? Mata, how you doing? Says Little Rock, Arkansas in the building. Gannibal, what's going on? Says ain't no progressives from what the news defending his. And there you go again, talking about one party. I talk about one party, two party, three parties. And what? And what? Oh. Extreme Action says you show all this to black people in Atlanta and they'll make an excuse for it. Well, again, hopefully you saw the latter part of what I was saying. Because see, what I want to do is I want to be honest in the things that I'm talking about. I ain't got to lie to kick it. I never have and I never will. Okay? I don't care who like it. I'm never going to lie to kick it. Just being honest. Okay? Gannibal, you say we're voting for Mondani, mayor of New York City. I think y'all already did that. Ain't he the mayor? Okay. And Ursula, what's going on? She says, I didn't see anything wrong. Sherry says, and this is the man that wants us to vote for him to be the president of the United States of America. So we already know he is going to be helping and he will be doing the same stuff that Kamala did. Yeah, of course. And guess what? We're going to show up. When I say we collectively, we're going to show up and we're going to give them our votes. Yes, we are. Let's not lie like we're going to just automatically not do that. A lot of us probably won't, but most of us will. It's just the truth. I'll be sure you talking about James Carville, what did he say this time? Willie Gross was going on. She says, no tangibles, no vote. We can get our own land and education. Yeah, we can do that, right? We can pool our money together. They say we see almost $2 trillion in the near future, but we give 97% of that away. So yeah, some of that is on us. Whether it's a Democrat, Republican involved, who's making us give our money away? They said if we save 10% of that, we could do a lot. Just 10%. There's a lot we can do. That's the conversation we need to be having, right? Okay, let's see. Ren says, disband the California Black Caucus, Congressional Black Caucus, and many other Black caucuses across the country. They've been useless for us, fam. Useless. Yeah, but you can do that by not voting for them. Vote for somebody who's actually going to do something for you, right? Say, let's see, 1 minute of Black empowerment. How you doing? It says we need to prepare to vote for whoever will destroy everything if we have to. Well, yeah, but at the end of the day, no matter who's in the White House, we still got to do for self. So yeah, but we should be voting for something that's tangibles, right? Something for us, not the symbolism, no apologies and things like that. Hold on 1 second, y'all. I have to tell my daughter to be quiet. She's having a very loud conversation for some reason while I'm on live. Deborah, how you doing? He says, a lot of illegal immigrants came in under Biden will be able to vote in 2028. The Democrats know this. That's why they are fighting for the SAVE Act. Yeah, I don't know how true that is, but yes, the SAVE Act is basically saying that you need to have an ID. The Democrats are saying, well, why? Why do you have to have an ID to vote? It's racist. You got to have an ID to do everything, but why not vote? Like, to me, what's the problem? To me, like I said, it would be easier for the Democrats to get a campaign together to say, hey, for all you Black folks that do not have an ID, get in this van. Not that kind of van, though, right? The van. And I'm going to take you to the DMV to get you a state ID, a driver's license, or whatever it is, so you can vote. And they got the money that could do that. I don't know how they would, but you do that. Like, you bring the strippers to, and the stripper bus, and picking people up to go to the polls and all that. Get a voter ID bus going on a campaign. That way you ain't got to worry about whether it's racist or not, because all the Negroes, because that's where they're going with this, right? They have an ID. I don't know a Black person without an ID. I don't care what walk of life they come from. Okay, they got an ID. So I don't even know where this is coming from. But I hear you, though. Self-Made Productions, what's going on? So Democratic Party is the party of enslavement. That is true. Let's see. Let me skip down because I see I'm almost out of time. Doggone it. Gina, how you doing? Says truth. They are a joke. The Democrats, they aren't taking us down any longer. Let's hope not, right? Amon, what's going on? Says whole world anti-us. Sadly, that is true. There is no lies there. Bestie Grievous, what's going on? Says they made a special hate crime bill for Asians, but refused to do one for Blacks. Blacks have open doors for every minority in this country, and these laws end up not working for us. What a joke. Well, the joke is that we keep voting for that. That's the hard moment, right? It's because we keep voting for it. Okay, Sister Sunlight, so you are observing Ramadan. Yes, indeed. I did get the link, but I was going into the gym when I noticed that it was a live Zoom, and I couldn't do both at once to focus on it, but I did get the link, but thank you. Darnell, how you doing? Says, you sweat a lot too. Shout out to the sweaters. 7D Media, what's going on with you? Hope you're doing well. It says Black Americans need to support our own candidates getting ready for 2028. Yep. Beverly White, what's going on with you? Greg, what's up? He says Democrats back Satan. Why be surprised with Gavin? Oh, I'm not surprised with Gavin at all. Poochie, what's going on with you? Says thank you, but Newsom not for Black folks. Let's move on. I totally. But I don't think I really think he's going to be on the ticket. So then what? Right? Just what's going on. Says Kathy Hochul said Black kids don't know what the internet is. All Democrats think this way. Yeah, but in that moment, that's not what he was addressing. I just want to talk about that moment. I'm not talking about all of Gavin Newsom's moments. I'm saying that in that moment. But yes, Kathy Hochul did say that Black kids don't even know what a computer is. And she said that was like 2-3 years ago. Okay. Kevin says Gavin Newsom is like a sleazy used car salesman. He's not going to do a thing for Black people, nor will the Democrat Party. Tell him again for those who ain't paying attention. Let's see. A foodie guide to fasting. I need that guy. How you doing? Says hard pass on this guy. He is a wolf with a cape on. Oh, totally. Up again. Come on now, think about it. But with the couple of minutes I got here, because I see I got to the bottom. Think about it. He's white. In a sense, I guess somebody thinks he's good looking, right? He's got the coif, his pompadour is just so, he comes off as very astute, sans the, dyslexia. That doesn't mean you're stupid, right? It just means you see things differently as far as reading and stuff. Comes off as very astute. He's walking tall and he's talking tough. I mean, that's what people like. They like that. Study what happened with Richard Nixon and JFK. They said, and I think it was like one of the first televised presidential candidate debates. And they said if it would have been on the radio like it was before, that Nixon probably would have won or got more points or more, people would have thought he was the better candidate per se. But when they saw it on television, they saw Richard Nixon. He was sweating because he was a man's man, right? He didn't want to put on no makeup, had the 5 o'clock shadow. But then you saw JFK and people were like, oh my God, be still my heart. He's good looking, so I'm just saying that you can look it up if you want. Anyway, let's see. Where did I leave off? Lawrence, how you doing? Hope you're doing well. Whew, so many comments. Just want to make sure I get everybody that I did not see. Ryan, how you doing? Says, just like we out here giving Jasmine Crockett our vote just because she's a sister girl, have not said a thing about what she's doing for FBA, and she's not gonna do that. She's not. Because nobody's making her. Because they like how she sticks at the Trump, and how she went back and forth with Marjorie Taylor Greene. She's a fighter. Like, who's she fighting for, though? We'll talk about that another time. Isaac, how you doing? Says no more task forces, rather commissions and studies, no reparations, no protections, no vote. Facts. Absolutely. World chatters, what's going on with you? ES official says peace and greetings, family, comrade family. Our situation is much like Russia. Have to ponder that. Mosh Goldstein, what's going on with you? Says we should be grooming our own candidate now. Yes, totally. Brother Salam, how you doing? Well, thank you. I appreciate that. I really do. World Chatter says, so say what you want. Gavin is for all non-FBA, mainly Mexicans. He is Spanish. I don't dispute that. I didn't know he was Spanish, but I don't know. I know he's Nancy Pelosi's nephew, so I don't know how, because he was talking about in a longer clip, he was eating macaroni and cheese and his mom really struggled. So maybe Nancy's was like, my money ain't your money. I don't know. Peppermint Patty, what's going on? Says, oh my God, are you kidding me? He said that. Patrice, what's going on? Says Epstein Island crew protect each other, of course. Yeah, that's what they do. Intuitively wise. How you doing? Said he is the governor of the tent people and homeless. Think about that. Now you know what? Stop it. But yes, California has the most homeless population in the nation. Just so you know. Mr. Bruce, how you doing? Says the only bone that Matt. You know what? We ain't gonna call. We about to get out of here because you stupid. And I saying the black woman is the backbone, and I said, what we gonna call the black man voter that votes for the Democrats? I hope you ain't talking about that bone. Anyway, love and appreciate you, every last one of you. I'm gonna get out of here. Peace.